Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I am continuing to work on an Oceanic Adventure journal, and I've just been calling it an Ocean Adventure journal. And this is from the kit, I'm using the kit from Happiness and Crafting by G. Kerr. So today I'm just going to make a little flip out book, and I saw an idea for this on Instagram. Now I'm probably not making mine exactly like she did, but and I can't remember the name of the lady that was making it. So if I can find the account, I will put the name below so that you can check her Instagram account out. I'm just going off of memory. It seemed like it'd be a very simple little thing to make. So what you do is you take a sheet of paper. Now I think she was using A4. I'm going to be using 8.5 by 11. So you take it and you just cut your sheet of paper in half. So you start out by cutting it. So you would cut 5.5, and then you lay one aside, and you take this sheet and you cut it in half as well. So it is 8.5, so I'm going to cut it at 4.25. So then you're going to lay this square aside, and you're going to cut, or this rectangle aside, and you're going to cut this one in half again. So it measures 5.5, so I'm going to cut it at 2.75. So then you're going to lay one of those aside, and you're going to take this one and you're going to cut it in half again. And so it is 4.25, so I'm going to cut that at 2.18. So now we have 4 pieces. We have an extra little piece here, and I'm just going to lay that aside for later. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take your larger piece and you're just going to fold that in half. So let's see here, let me get that. I'm just going to fold it in half and press down. So let me just score that real good. Okay, and then you take your next one, the next size down, I guess I should say, and I'm just going to lay it inside of this one and kind of eyeball. About 1/4 inch is what I'm eyeballing. She didn't have measurements for this. And then you're just going to fold it over. This doesn't have to be exact, just so this will fit inside that fold is what you're trying to go for. Okay, and so then for the next one, you're just doing the same thing. You want this one to fit inside the fold, so I'm just going to leave about 1/8 inch or so and fold a little flap over. So I'm just going to fold that down, and then we're going to take the next one, and it's going to be just a little pocket inside here. So now I just need to get some papers to cover it. So I've gone ahead and cut some, and I've just cut it to be about this one's going to be a little smaller. Let me pull out the other ones I cut. Hold on just a second. So here we go. So I've cut this one to fit. I need to trim just a little. Actually, with the way this print is, I'm not going to trim anymore. On some of them, I'm going to have gray around the edges. So like this one, you're going to see about 1/8 inch around the edges. But for this one, since I want to use this card, if I cut it down anymore, I'm going to lose my little design. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to work it out. So I'm not going to have exact measurements. What you're going to want to do is cut paper to fit inside of each rectangle or square that you have. And so I'll work with you through this, and I can kind of give you the measurements I used. So like, for example, this piece is 2.75 by 2.125. So you could cut your paper depending on which piece you're using. Like for this one, it is 2.75 by just under 2.125. So it's just a little bit under. So I'm pretty much covering that one almost entirely. Just going to take and just cover that rectangle. We're going to make 2 today, 2 different ones, but pretty much the same fold. So here is the first little pocket, and I don't think I'm going to glue it all together yet. I'm going to wait and get everything covered. So then here is the next piece, and I just cut it down to fit inside of the rectangle. So when you see when it's folded up, it's just going to have a little border around it. So I do want to ink these I'm just going to ink around the edge of this one. And once again, I'm just using the London Fog by Memento. Let me show you, because if you didn't see my previous video, this is what I'm going to use with this journal this time. And in my previous video, I do get started on it. So if you haven't seen the video before this one, you'll want to check it out to see how I am binding this journal and how I'm putting it all together, because this is going to be my cinch journal, and it's the first cinch journal that I've made. So then I'm just going to add that there. And then the next one we're going to make it the same measurements but going the opposite direction. And so I'm going to show you that in just a moment how I'm going to do that. Let me ink around this edge. I meant to ink around that piece, but that's okay. It's on there now. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay. Just going to press that down real good. And I have printed this on cardstock, and then 65-pound cardstock, and this is about the same weight, maybe just a little under, but it is cardstock as well. And so I've just cut this piece down to fit it. Just going to ink around it real quick. I like to ink around it because it helps to cover up the white where I cut the edges, but it also helps to frame out the piece, so I like that. So then I'm just going to add it here. Just center it as best I can on that one. And then I'm going to do the next one. And I'm just going to pull this right back up real quick because I forgot that I want to hide this little hinge inside here. So I'm going to put that right, I'm going to glue it right onto that piece. And then I'm going to just hide this little hinge for this one. And I can't remember if that's what she did with hers or not, how she did hers. But I'm just going to hide it right underneath this piece. So I'm just going to make sure that it does fold over. And then I'm just going to leave it right there and press down. And there we go. And I'm just going to go back and ink that. And so this way we have it that it folds out and there. So we'll go ahead and add our pocket. And I think I'm just going to put it like here. It's just like a little tuck spot pocket. So I'm just going to glue it on two sides and make it a little tuck spot. Just put that right there. I think this will be a cute little flip out in the book. Now for this one, I've got to decide, am I going to hide it on the front here? So it goes like this. Or I can make it, and she made hers show up on the inside here, and she decorated it and had it decorated right there. I'm trying to decide, because I kind of want mine to be a journaling card. So, could make it another tuck spot. I think I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to hide it on the front. So I'm just going to, let me make sure, add some glue here. Just like that, but then that leaves the awful big piece I could have used as a tuck spot. That's okay. I'm going to just put it on the front there. And just attach it here. And I want to make sure I attach it so that it will fold over. So I'm just going to fold it back there. Make sure it lines up at the bottom. I think that'll be good. Let's see here. All right. Getting our book put together, a little flip out. And so now I'm just going to cover this right here. And these are all just papers from the kit that I've cut apart, different pages. And this one, the inking doesn't show up much, but I'm just trying to cover up the white edge really that I cut. Oops. Okay, my sponge is coming apart, so it's leaving pieces on my paper. Okay, so then I'm just going to try to center this up the best that I can on the front there. There we have our little flip out. And so I am going to, I'm not going to attach it to the page, I don't believe. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to put it on this page, but in the other video I told how I had put some of my pages together, and so I've left it so that some of them could be pockets if I wanted, and so I'm going to go back and either sew or glue it back together. So the way I think I'm going to do this one is I am just going to slide it into that pocket like this. And then it'll just fold over and we have a little flip out in our book. So I do like that. I do think I need to ink just a little bit more. It's not showing up so well. I really want that to be highlighted there. Oops. So I do like that. So this makes a cute little journaling spot, and you could decorate the whole thing. You could decorate the back of it and the inside, but I'm going to leave the inside for journaling. I do believe. I don't think I want to put anything in there because I think that will make a great little journaling spot, and I will add a little tag or something once I go through and fill the pockets. So let's see here. It's just going to fit like this onto the page. And I do have some little tags from the kit already cut out. Let me see what I can find in my box here that I already have. This is all the things I'm using in this kit. And I wanted to see if I could find a little tag. But when you go to, oh, here's one. Here's a little example so I can put in here. Oh, that one goes good with this too. It's got the little seashells. So then you could just stick a little tag in there, just like that. One of those little tags would fit and be cute in there. And we have our pocket here, and just like this. So that is one, and so now we're going to make a second one. So for the next one, I want to, let me see what page I'm going to put it on so I can kind of get an idea. So it's going to go the opposite direction, I do believe. So it's going to be going, I think in this one. Maybe it's, let's keep going. Let's see here. It's one that looks very similar to that. I will find it. Here it is. Either this one or I think this one is where it's going. Yes. So let me set this aside. So it's going to be going the opposite direction. So I've already cut my pieces out, and I'm just going to, so I have this piece which was the first half that I cut. So I'm going to decorate it opposite direction so that when it slides this way, it can flip out towards the right. So we're just going to start out by decorating the smallest piece first, and then we'll go from there. So here's the smallest one, and I already started inking it. And I've already cut down, and so this one I was able to cut down so that there's a little bit of the gray around the edge. I don't know if you can see that or not. So this one, the little piece I cut it down to 2 3/4 by 2. So let's see here. So let's see where I'm at here. So if I'm going backwards now, you have to do everything a little different. You're going to do it a little backwards. So then this one is going to be going like this, and then this one will be going right inside here, like that. So we just want to decorate everything on the correct side and with it right side up. So the pocket will go right here this time. So I'm just going to glue on two sides. Okay. And then this one will flip this way this time. So I'm just going to take this piece and I've cut it down so that it's framed out by the gray. And I've gone ahead and inked a lot of these, so I'm going ahead and add it. Okay. Just going to do this again. Okay, so now before we add this one, so this one's going to be I'm sure I didn't do that upside down. I may have. This one's going here. And, oh, this one's going here. So now before I add the paper to the front of this one, I want to go ahead and add my little hinge to it so it can be hidden. So I'm just going to add some glue on the inside of it here, and then I'm just going to attach it to the cover. And then fold it over to make sure it's going to fit. And then we'll take the little piece that's supposed to decorate that one and cover it all up. And then I'm going to go back through and I will ink the whole thing. So just center that one up there. So now we have our piece folding out. So then we're going to, this one is going to be this way. So once again, I'm just going to hide the hinge. So I'm just going to glue on the inside of this one. And this is a bit different from the one I saw. She did not hide her hinges. She used them as, I think, tuck spots in hers. But I'm going to hide mine because I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use this as a journaling spot. Or it could be a place to put pictures. This would be a great little place to add little pictures and journaling. So when you glue your hinge on, be sure that you make sure that you can still fold your little flap over. And this is a fairly little simple book, but it's really neat. And so then I'm going to add this one. I have not inked it yet, so I'm going to ink it real quick. Okay. So then I'm just going to add that there. And it's going to be covering the hinge there. That will just go right there in the center. I'm just going to press it down. And so now I'm just going to ink the outside edges real quick just to see how it's going to look. Just give us an idea how it's going to look when we get done. And then I can also go through and ink it all up. There we have it. So that's enough so we can see what it will look like in our book. So that'll get a good idea, and I can go back and finish inking it later. And so here we're just going to slide it inside the pocket. And there, I think that looks really good. I really like how that turned out. And so now we have another little fold out. And if you wanted to glue it in, you could. You would just lose the journaling spot of pulling it out. You would lose that much journaling spot, but you would still have all of this journaling spot to have. So it wouldn't lose a lot if you did want to glue it in. And so I could put another little tag in there, but I don't know if I can find one. Let's see. There's one. So we'll just add that there. There's a little tag. And I could put another little card or something there, like one of these. But I like how that turned out. I think that looks really good. And I love these papers. And so we're coming right along with the journal. Well, that was just a quick little project to do today. I hope you're enjoying this series of the Oceanic Adventure, and hopefully you'll follow along for the rest of the week and see how I create this journal. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.